We've got some good news in regards to the actors' strike, which, as some of you may know, has put a pause on Star Wars, but that's all about to change, with Disney and Lucasfilm now looking to play catch up on everything they weren't able to do since early May.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
However, manage your expectations on what to expect, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a moment.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
But first, let's check out what's going on with these strikes, because it's undoubtedly put a pause on Star Wars shows being released. If you look at Skeleton Crew, that was meant to come out this year. Doesn't look like we're getting it this year now. But also rumours, announcements, trailers potentially coming out as well. So it goes on to say, after a grueling 118 days on strike, SAG-AFTRA has officially reached a tentative agreement on a new 3-year contract with studios, a move that is heralding the end of the 2023 actors' strike. The SAG-AFTRA TV Theatrical Committee approved the agreement in a unanimous vote on Wednesday. SAG-AFTRA announced the strike will end at 12:01 AM on Thursday. On Friday, the deal will then go to the union's national board for approval. Now, this is a pretty standard process. If you remember the writers' strikes that actually ended a couple of months ago, that also went to a board for approval, but the writers were able to go back to work whilst that was going on. Now, this kind of thing very rarely ever gets rejected once it goes to the board for approval. So I'd imagine here on out it should be smooth sailing and we can start to get back to normal. The Performers Union announced that provisional agreement on Wednesday after about 2 weeks of renewed negotiations. The development came not long before a deadline of 5 PM that the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers has set for the union to give their answer on whether they had a deal. So what does this actually mean for Star Wars? Well, hopefully it means we can get some more content for Ahsoka. If you think back to what we had with The Mandalorian, kind of, but more so with Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was their big show from last year, we had tons of interviews with Ewan and Hayden, with the directors, really building the hype for the show. We didn't get that really with Ahsoka whatsoever, apart from a few pre-recorded interviews that came out because the strikes were ongoing at that time. So perhaps they can catch up with that now. But I've also noticed on social media since the end of the strikes were announced that some of the cast, crew from Ahsoka have been uploading BTS pictures and videos. Now I've actually got here Natasha Libordizo's Instagram account that we can take a look at because she's put some up herself. Now we can take a little look at these while we talk, but like the other Mandoverse shows, I fully expect Ahsoka to get a gallery, a making of documentary. Now historically with Mandalorian season 1 and 2 they released that pretty much as soon as the season ended, but with the shows since then it's come out a few months later. And if Ahsoka's going to follow that pattern, then because Ahsoka ended at the beginning of October, we could realistically expect a gallery documentary to come out maybe around 25th of December, maybe around New Year's Day, the 1st of January, one of them big holidays like that. I think that'd be pretty fitting. But what's more as well, I fully expect Star Wars to be able to get into production for the other projects that they've got waiting in the pipeline as well. Now, The Mandalorian Season 4, we learned from Jon Favreau, he's already written the 4th season. Of course, there's probably still a little bit more to do behind the scenes before that goes into production, which was originally meant to be around this now, actually, in November 2023, but the delays would have pushed that back slightly. So in the coming months now, hopefully we can get some updates around the production of the 4th season of The Mandalorian, when it's exactly going to begin, and if there's any new characters they're looking for, any potential cast announcements, updates, rumours, leaks. But also for Ahsoka Season 2, we learnt that it's been greenlit, although it wasn't officially announced, and to be honest, neither of them shows have been officially announced, so we could get that as well. But the same can be said for Ahsoka Season 2. Perhaps they'll get to work on that, as they want that to come out before Dave Filoni's movie. Now, we've also got Star Wars movies that are announced at Celebration this year. Now, the first one to come out is expected to be the Rey movie in May 2026, I believe it is now. That is slightly delayed. That was originally meant to begin production in April of 2024. I don't think that will be affected too much because that's still a way off itself. But we could be getting, now that the strikes are gone, or they're over, or looks like they're over, we could be now getting some casting updates, and maybe some news can begin to trickle through about that as well. The channel wasn't actually around during the sequel trilogy, so it'd be quite interesting and an exciting time to be able to cover Star Wars movies on there, not just the Disney Plus shows. In terms of Star Wars projects coming out series-wise, we know that the Bad Batch Season 3 is coming out at some time in 2024. It'd be pretty cool if we can get a trailer for that. Maybe we'll get some more official updates on Tales of the Jedi Season 2, rumoured to be coming out next year as well. Season 1 came out in October, so if they're going to follow that same formula, perhaps we could expect that in October 2024, along with the next season of Visions at some point during the year, I'd imagine. In terms of live action Star Wars projects, then we've got the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, which are pretty much done. Now, Skeleton Crew was meant to come out at the end of this year, but that was delayed, and rumours are saying it could potentially be delayed for up to 12 months. The reason that they would do that, because of the strikes, yes, but also because they're unable to begin production on 4th season of Mando, any other Mandoverse shows because of the strikes, they don't want to leave such a big gap between Ahsoka and The Mandalorian Season 4 or Skeleton Crew coming out now and them not getting Mandalorian Season 4 out until 2025. If they release Skeleton Crew at the end of 2024, it kind of fills that gap and fits a show right in the middle there. So I can understand why they want to do that. The Acolyte's meant to come out in August 2024. That's their big prime spot, it seems, for these Disney Plus shows. And it seems like the Acolyte is really the big show they want to release for Star Wars next year. Now, that's probably going to stay where it is. It means we could get, a quiet first half of the year when it comes to live action Star Wars. However, we have also got Andor Season 2, which is almost finished filming. So depending on how they get on with that, who knows? Maybe we could get a premiere of Andor Season 2 at the end of 2024, maybe late December, like they did with the Book of Boba Fett a few years ago. And that would take us into 2025 because that is a longer season than the typical 8 you get for the Mandalorian and the rest of it. And if they do that, then potentially they could put Skeleton Crew into that spring slot or move Acolyte into spring 24 and have the 3 shows technically release within that year, which will be my ideal scenario. I think I'd prefer that more than any other way they could look to do it. But one thing's for sure, it does seem that the state of these Star Wars shows, as with recent years as well, has been pretty fluid, where we get like a marker on when they're going to be released, but they can still change it to fit when they want it to release, and when they suspect Disney Plus subscribers are going to drop, they'll just stick in one of their shows. So even though The Acolyte is down as an August release, who's to say they won't release it in June or July, or maybe in September? It can be pretty fluid. We'll have to see how it goes. But the bottom line is, it looks like 2024 is going to be a busy one for Star Wars and for us fans. Potentially we're going to be getting 3 animated shows, 2 to 3 live action shows, depending on where they are with development at this stage and how well that's coming along. We've got a couple of games coming out as well, but we're also now going to be getting more rumors, leaks, updates, official news, confirmation, announcements, trailers for the shows they're going to be making throughout the year and the movies as well. So it seems like Star Wars is well and truly back in business at this point. So let me know down in the comments, what is your most anticipated Star Wars project? Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll catch you in the next one. May the Force be with you.